Welcome back to another naval news video. This one is by fan request. You guys have been beating down my door to talk about Nancy Pelosi's visit to Asia, so we will. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House for the Congress, has decided to visit, lots of places in Asia, like Guam, Singapore, South Korea, and Taipei, which is in Taiwan. Along in that region, we still have the Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group there in the Philippine Sea with USS Tripoli fleet that has a lot of Marines on board ready for amphibious operations. Up in Japan, we have the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group and the USS Essex with a bunch of Marines on board, and the American ESG Expeditionary Group in Japan as well. So a lot of Marines in the area, 2 carrier strike groups, nothing more than normal, but that's what we have right now. So Nancy Pelosi flew to Guam first, then she flew to Singapore, and this is her flight path over into Taipei. As you can see that she did go around South China Sea. The reason for that is because China does claim a lot of territory in the South China Sea, and flying through that could cause problems. So she just went all the way around the Philippines and into Taiwan. Now, China did stoke a lot of nationalism amongst their populace and conducted a lot of military maneuvers, motivating their military to protest this. One such event was recorded and widely spread on social media here, where they drove some tanks along a beach to prepare for invasion or retaliate against any kind of American incursion, which is kind of off the chart from an American point of view, because it's just a congressional visit to Taipei. No one's going to mainland China, and certainly not a military invasion, but they did this show of force. And so they released these videos out on social media showing the public that, hey, we're ready, we're going to fight back. And this escalated over the week and, over and over through Monday into Tuesday. As the visit became more and more closer to actually happening, the sentiment was stoked. Nationalism was stoked over and over again. And nationalism is a bit like a fire. If you control it, it's great for you politically. It'll keep you in office and you'll have lots of votes. Or it can go horribly wrong like this. This is a screen grab from one of the, from WeChat, which is a popular Chinese-run social media platform over there in China, where people are saying, hey, we can't wait for Nancy Pelosi's plane to be shot down, that we're going to have a one China unification. I hope whenever I wake up in the morning, it says, here's the translation, that will be one China again, talking about killing an American congressman. It's a little bit out of control. And even the Chinese army is getting a little excited with self-flagellation to the point that it's becoming a problem. So what did China do on August 2nd, just before her visit? They sent something like 16 planes out into the ADIZ, which is the Air Defense Identification Zone around Taiwan. That is specifically very different than territorial airspace, okay, inside 12-mile limit. This is just an identification zone. They sent some J-11s, J-16s. You can see the list of planes there, just kind of in to say, hey, we can violate this airspace. They do this all the time, by the way, but sending a large number of planes is more than normal for this example. So Nancy Pelosi, SPAR 19 is her name, lands in Taipei there. You can see the flight path that she took, and there was a couple of planes, maritime patrol out there watching the airspace around her as she landed. So what was China's response to this besides sending some airplanes? Well, they decided they're going to set up and conduct live fire exercises for the next 4 or 5 days, from Thursday of this week, we're recording this on Wednesday, to Sunday. And they're going to take place in these 6 zones around Taiwan. There is a Type 055 destroyer at sea right now. It is paired with a Type 054. And they were last seen on the southeastern tip of Taiwan there. So because these boxes are not connected to airspace corridors to the mainland, it doesn't appear as if there's going to be any kind of mainland missile launches into these boxes, or else they would block off the airspace connecting. So what it looks like is these 2 ships, and probably some more, are going to go into these boxes over the next 4 or 5 days and shoot a couple live fire rounds just as a demonstration. And so they put out a notice to mariners. That's what this is, saying, hey, stay out of these areas or else you might get shot because we're doing some live fire exercises. This is really all that they had to do. I mean, they don't want to go any further because China has lots of domestic issues right now that they don't want to complicate by getting into, you know, an actual shooting war with anybody else, especially not the United States. It would be really bad right now for the Chinese. Of course, it would be bad for the Americans as well. It would be a mess, right? A big war with China. But China is on the brink of economic collapse, and they're trying to salvage that. And this is a big election year in China as well. So you do want that nationalism in China, but you don't want it to get out of control as it appears to be spewing over here. And they were very smart about setting up these areas. I got this off Twitter, and I forget the channel. I apologize to the gentleman who did this, but he drew the territorial limits around Taiwan, according to Taiwan, of course. It's not according to China. And a lot of these live fire boxes, as you can see, violate Taiwanese territory. And so that is a real problem. Whenever you start doing live fire exercises inside someone else's water, you know, that could escalate quickly. So we'll see what actually happens of this. Over the next 4 days, and I'm going to wait till next week to do this, we're going to look back and see what actually happened here. But so look forward for an update on this. This live fire exercise in Taiwanese territorial waters is could lead to something much larger. Absolutely could. But Nancy Pelosi has left. She's no longer in Taiwan at the time of this recording. She's moved on to South Korea and going about her business, and nothing really came of the visit other than this. There is a real problem in China now. China stoked a lot of nationalism, and like the fire that I described it as, it is burning out of control to the point to where WeChat, one of that social medias, almost crashed. And these are state-run social medias, which means that the state can come in and censor things. And censorship has been going off the scale on websites like Weibo and WeChat, to the point of arresting the leading Chinese Marxist student for suggesting that he might protest. Remember, the one, you can be, you know, anti-American and nationalistic as much as you want. You can be the most communist student in the nation. The moment you mention the word protest, no matter what it's about, you're going to go have a chat at the police station like this man did. They picked him up, they threw him in a car, and he's gone now. He's in police custody at the time of this recording. And like I said, this is an election year. So Xi is going to have to woo the voters into supporting him into his third re-election, which essentially will make him leader for life, it seems. And so that election, when it does happen this year, we'll see if he stays in office. He actually put himself at risk by stoking nationalism a little too far with this Nancy Pelosi visit. I believe he'll still be reelected, and I don't think anything significant will come from this, but we have a stage set for a mistake to happen that could escalate out of control, specifically with these live fire zones happening inside Taiwanese declared territorial waters. And if anything happens from that, we'll follow up with that next week. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you. Bye.